MAGA podcaster and former West Wing aide Steve Bannon suggested in a recent interview that a plan exists for President Trump to attempt to defy the Constitution and seek a third term in office in 2028. Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that, he told The Economist on October 23rd. Though Bannon, who served a 4-month stint in prison last year and has pled guilty to separate fraud charges, isn't empowered in the White House like he was during Trump's first term, he indicated there are many different alternatives for keeping his former boss in the presidency. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, Bannon said, but there is a plan. And they mentioned that Trump has toyed with the idea. So this is kind of an example of the whole cult thing with the Republicans. There is no legal way for a two-term president to be able to run for a third one. It is simply forbidden by the 22nd Amendment. That's just the nature of it. Um, what I do find interesting is that you've had proposals by different congressmen of like, hey, we'll make an exception where if you had two non-consecutive terms, you can run again. But ideas like that are not going to get much traction, even among Republicans, because the way this works is that when you're a careerist, like Cruz, like Rubio, these different people, you're going to kind of like play along with the madness, right, of Trump having the White House, but you're only going to do it insofar as you're legally required or politically required to go along with it, and no politician who wants to be president themselves is going to sit out or wait out a fourth Trump presidential campaign. At least when I say a fourth one, I guess the only exception would be if Trump had Eric or Don Jr. or Ivanka try. But other than that, there's he himself as the candidate is done. That is something that there would be. I'll put it this way. I don't normally try to have faith in politicians, right? Especially ones on, just in general. But there is no reason to believe that they would willingly prolong their own White House bids just to keep Trump around for a few more years. That's not advantageous to them. That's not advantageous to anybody that wants to, you know, get in the White House themselves. You would sooner see the Republicans try to pass single payer health care than try to repeal the 22nd Amendment or to go along with any other supposed scheme that would allow Trump to run for a possible third term. And Bannon's a guy who they'll say whatever they want to get attention. He's lost influence with Trump years and years ago, right? That's something the article points out. So I don't really take him that seriously. But honestly, there is something to be said about, because like, as someone that's been following this stuff for years, I've always understood that whether you like Trump, Obama, Bush, Biden, Clinton, whoever the hell, uh, the most they can get as president is 8 years, and then that's it. So the fact that there are Republican voters who are open to that, uh, I don't even know what to say. I could say it's part of the cult again, but it's just they really believe that laws and the various procedures of things really do not matter when it comes to their leader. And I feel kind of bad for them because they have you have people like Bannon who are smart enough to know that there is no legal way to get Trump uh, to be able to have a third term, but are going to use the insanity of that idea to get headlines, be on TV for a little bit, and it's like this stuff doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help his voters. It does like it's all just worthless talk. But it's something that several politicians, uh, commentators, and Trump himself are giving credence to, and it's just a way of distracting from any of the stuff that's actually going on. Right, to shut down the pretty poor conditions of most people in the U.S. It's sad stuff, man. It really is.